And welcome back to another episode of Always Open. I am your host, Barbara Dunkelman, and today I am joined by two of my wonderfulest friends. That's not a word, but I'll pretend it is for today. We have Blizzb3ar joining us. Welcome back to the show. Lovely as always. And very special guest and very good friend of ours, Lawrie Bird.
Hi. Good morning. I will end you. I thought you would give me 5 minutes before you started shitting on me. It's not nice to shit on queer artists.
Yeah,
wow. Wow. Now I'm the villain. Oh, no.
Now? I feel like you've always been
thrive on the attention so bad.
I do. That's what I need.
I want to throw this in your face. I want to throw this in your face.
For people who don't know me and Lawrie.
Oh, right.
We are friends. We are friends.
This is one of my best friends.
Literally one of my best friends.
The first time, I think I told somebody else this the other day, but the first time Rooster Teeth actually had you out here, October of 21.
Like just to visit kind of thing?
With Achievement Hunter, yeah.
The very first time, I picked you up from the airport and we went and had veggie burgers late that night. It was our first time meeting too.
Yeah.
And now you're all the way over here. Look how fancy and important.
Oh my God, no, we're not here to talk about me. Oh my God.
We're not. I was giving you that 30-second. Now you're done. It's about me now. Just
but
kidding.
I like the narrative better of you just met for the first time.
Right.
Each other.
I mean, in that moment though, that's when I knew that I wanted to move to Austin. You and Laurel were one of my main reasons that I felt comfortable moving here. And so I'm very happy that, oh, and Barbara was also a part of that. But it was, I don't know, I feel very comfortable and I'm very happy to have the support circle that I have here. And you've helped contribute to that. So thank you.
I love you, fucker. And that's the last time I'm going to say that today.
That's the only niceness allowed.
Really, yeah. Now I'm done.
Yeah, now we're done. Now we're done.
That all.
Yeah, that works for me.
Can't believe it's not going to make it in the post.
I know. Welcome to Always Open. Well, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
It's been a long time coming.
Thank you. Oh my God. I think I remember when you announced this show was coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so excited because I think at that time I'd only come to visit for Squad Team Force.
Yep.
Rest in peace.
May she rest in peace.
The murderer of Squad Team Force here today.
Yep.
We did a play DVD, and it's fun because I was even telling you in the lobby today coming in, I get to see the evolution of my own kind of makeup and drag.
Yeah.
And it's so fun when you do drag just around people who not other drag queens, because generally people are like, oh my God, you look amazing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, cool. I guess I look amazing. And then I look at the photo from back then and I'm thinking all of you shady motherfuckers should have told me that I looked a mess. It wasn't that bad.
I think you've always looked amazing.
Yeah, you looked amazing.
I think your techniques are improving.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's the practice. And I guess that's part of doing anything creative is you want to look back at the previous things and think, oh, that was horrible. Because you then see the growth.
I always hate looking back at old photos of me in an outfit I thought at the time I was slaying it.
Right.
And then I go, what the fuck was I doing? That doesn't fit me right. That doesn't go together at all. And then now I'm worried that anything I wear nowadays, I'll look back in 5 years and be like, what the fuck was I doing then?
But I feel like that's part of the fun.
It is.
Right?
It's part of the fun.
If you don't look back, I feel like I'd rather look back and say, why was I wearing, why was I dressed like a Barney? Or I literally have photos of myself dressed as a giant inflatable cow in front of.
Yeah, but that
was iconic.
That's
though.
iconic.
Thank you. Oh, God, it's so hard being a talent these days. I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't know.
Anyway, but I'd rather look like this, like Austin Powers.
Fabulous.
I think, you know what? Remake Austin Powers and cast me. I don't know who makes that movie.
Well, now the question is, what would it be called? Because it can't be Austin Powers. Austin Prowess?
I think it would be The Spy Who Dragged Me, an Austin Powers story.
Okay.
The Spy Who Dragged Me. Drag, get it? Humor.
Dragged
It's
and
fun.
dragged, yes.
An Austin Powers, story. Something like one of those. I love a title that is so dramatic for no reason. Like a Drama Gaze presents blah, 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 blah.
You could do
I love it.
Goldfingerer.
Ooh.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Goldfingerer.
Yeah, just use what they already did once.
Fingerer, though.
Goldfingerer.
Yeah.
Goldfingerer.
Everyone's so creative.
The Spy Who Shagged Me, dragged me.
I'd go see it.
Well, something that I wanted to talk about today was drag performance.
Right.
Lawrie is, for those of you who don't know, an incredible drag performer here in Austin. I've had the pleasure of going to a few of your shows, some of which that you have written and produced and starred in and have done such an amazing and creative job putting those together.
Thank you.
For those of you who don't know, could you actually explain like the creative process behind all that?
Absolutely. So drag comes in all shapes and sizes and styles. We see horror drag. We see what we call pageant drag, which is what you might expect. It's very glamorous, very just big hair, big shiny sparkles, glitter, sequins, all that. We have comedy, all kinds of things, honestly. What I do is more, I like a production.
Yeah.
I like a theater. And I like things that are so stupid and silly that you can't help but to have fun. Like, I want it to be just smart enough that you're like, oh, that's fun, but not inaccessible. Like, I need you to be I want you to be able to be 5 shots in and still having just as much fun as if you were sober. So I make a show where I like, I parody movies, video games, musicals, television shows. And so I do it every month at Oil Can Harry's here in Texas, Austin. Don't know why I said Texas. I do it every month here in Austin. And I will write a script that is like a loose parody of something I enjoy. And the parody will often have very little to do with the original material. I generally just take either like the name or the concept and go from there. So for example, my first show was called, it was a parody of A Star Is Born. And so I called it A Star Is Corn.
Right. I forgot about this one.
And it was
so good.
The whole storyline was a piece of corn that comes to life, and then 2 farmers and the corn enter a love triangle. And then the county fair is coming up. Naturally. And so there's just like, we're breaking up a marriage. The corn is like
drama.
It's dramatic and stupid. And so honestly, I think like my mantra is like, I challenge you to not have a good time at my shows.
It's impossible.
I thank you. I hope so.
I'm gonna do that next time. Not have a good time.
Shut the
I'm gonna watch you the whole time just going pouting in the corner.
Right.
Impossible.
You're normally because we get to the bar and then you're like shots, everybody shots.
No, okay.
In a good way, though. Like
yes, in a good way.
Because I always say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to make sure that you're prepared to go on stage.
I think you want to see me fall down.
No,
I think you want to see my downfall.
Yeah.
I think you want to see me get on that stage and trip, see my wig come off, fall on my face, break my nose.
That would be a
think about the amount of tips you would get.
I know.
Though,
think about the amount of tips. I'm helping you in the future.
I don't have medical insurance, so
you could use that to your benefit.
You know what?
I hurt myself. Don't have medical insurance. Money,
please. And then the whole thing was just faked. It was a wooden leg.
I love it. Oh my god, that's your next little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do my next one is actually my birthday show. I'll be 25. On August 15th. I know. I know.
You're so young.
25.
I'm like 10 years older than you.
Are you 30?
Well, I just turned 34, so technically I'm 9.
You're like 9 or so years. But just for fun, we can say you're a whole decade older. I'm just kidding. That's not fun.
It's okay, Barbara. I'm 27. I understand.
Wow, yes. I
don't know how
when
anyone stands you.
But
I don't know.
Something too that I love as well, because I think like usually when people think of drag, they think of like lip syncing to these songs and these performances that these people put on, which is so entertaining and fun. But you do it in such a unique way where you incorporate these like big, very famous songs that you do perform into the theme of the production that you're doing, which I love.
Thank you.
It's like a story. It's your storytelling to the audience, and it's so nice.
So the whole show it's a giant story where I write the script, and me and my castmates, we will record the lines. So I'm also a Twitch streamer. You can find me at Lawrie Bird, LAWRIE Bird on Twitch.
Fantastic.
Thank you. And so I have a hand in like audio and editing, things like that. So we cut the lines together, we cut the music together. I will just kind of create this whole experience with sound effects, and we'll score the under the lines, and there will be moments that have just certain like it's like watching one of those cartoons in like 2008 where every 3 seconds there was like a whip crack or like a there was just noises because everyone was so starving for stimulation, I think.
Yeah, or those like radio shows where
absolutely
like buttons.
Which it almost makes sense because before the pandemic, so I graduated in May of 2020.
Congrats.
Thank you. College. I'm not that young, but I had a job lined up with a radio station in Dallas.
Really?
Right. And then, of course, COVID happened, and I never went anywhere.
Thank God you didn't.
I honestly, thank God I didn't.
Right?
Right. But I did, I went to school for PR and communication, all that
wow.
stuff. So yeah, I have a huge background in production and editing.
What about theater? Did you ever have a background in theater?
I did theater all throughout high school, but I never
okay.
pursued it through college.
Because
But
that
yeah,
makes
I did.
sense to me. You look like a theater kid.
And elaborate.
Theater kids, you know what I'm talking about.
I would say you
True.
act like a
You
theater
act like
kid.
a theater kid.
As in
I
you
do
are an
too.
incredible performer.
Oh, thank you. You're right. No, I know. I give theater kids a lot of flack because we are all overstimulated, bunch of little people.
Yeah.
But we
all the
get
time.
shit done.
But we get shit done. I
We
will
do.
say
That's
we
what we
get
do.
shit done.
It's because you're used to relying on yourself to
Oh yeah,
put things together.
absolutely.
You know?
I can say, so I've been friends with you for a hot heckin' minute.
Oh,
Before
It's been a
October
minute.
2021, I want to say I met you in October or in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
It's been super cool to see you perform on stage, but also I've seen with every show, your confidence has gone up so much higher than it was
Oh, yeah.
like
Thank you.
early days.
Oh, thank you.
And it's super, I have seen your drag perform. I've seen your technique perform. I've looked at previous pictures because we've taken pictures together, obviously.
Right.
And you are at a point where you're always perfecting your craft and you're always growing. And that is just super inspiring, first and foremost.
Thank
And
you.
I do want to say thank you for introducing me to drag as well, because I didn't really have that queer community back in Maryland. So coming to Austin, I was a little bit afraid of getting into queer stuff.
Right.
But you literally held my hand and said, hey, we're doing gay shit now.
I love
Let's
gay
go. And I'm like, oh,
It's so
okay.
much more fun than anything else. And I think, not to be someone who's like, oh, everything gay is better than everything straight. But when it comes to nightlife entertainment,
There's a level of just letting loose and having fun. And
Absolutely.
it's just pure joy is the
Right.
best way to describe
yeah,
it.
it really is.
And no
Because
one is judging each other either. It's
We
all
really
just,
aren't.
Oh, yeah, we
people
have no
just-
time.
Right.
That's why
We have no time.
That's why I love drag too, because especially with right now where we are, the definition of drag is so skewed and so wildly taken as or it's a bad word now. Drag
Yeah.
is a bad word.
Yeah.
Because you have these people who, and we see this every few decades, but people who they'll try this every once in a while to persecute queer people. And now that we have a better understanding in the language of our trans siblings, they're so much more the target than we are, because people have sort of realized that, oh, well, we're never really going to be able to attack queer people as successfully as we were, decades ago.
Right.
But we sure can attack a more marginalized community of trans people when they make up less than, I believe it's 0.1% of
If
our
that.
if that.
Yeah.
So the vilifying these people do is wild, because they take drag and they think, oh my gosh, it's these people who dress up and try to hurt people.
Or how it's direct. They think it's trying to sexualize children
Absolutely.
or put
Yeah.
children in where it's do you know how much sexual content children are just how much they are exposed to constantly in straight media
Absolutely.
and in everything day to day, magazines, television shows, movies, constantly. And I think that's one of my biggest frustrations with the misconceptions in terms of drag and what people nowadays relate it to. It's so every time I have ever seen any content with drag queens or any type of brunch or even events where children are present, it's always just magical and
Oh my God, yes.
sweet, and it's it's like a princess, and it's this beautiful moment. It's never in a sexualized manner,
Right.
And if it is, it's usually at a nightclub where it's 21
Absolutely.
and over, and people know what they're getting into, and that's kind of what people know that they're getting into for
And
that.
Yeah.
Just like any art, any musician, any actor, you wouldn't call an actor a hateful word for performing in a rated R film and then turning around and doing a children's animated cartoon.
Right.
Yeah. It's the same
It's the same thing. So I can't think of, I don't know actors. I don't know anybody, if I'm being honest. I barely know my own name. But you can go to a concert for the same band in 2 different days and see different tailored material to the audience, because we are just professional adults who know the difference between this is appropriate for this audience and this isn't.
Yes.
Right.
And the idea that drag queens are all these like, what they try to sell is that drag queens are, you know, old men in dresses trying to hurt your kids. Drag queens, drag artists are...
Most of them hate kids. I'm going to be completely honest.
Okay.
Drag queens, most of them hate kids.
Look, I don't give a fuck about your kids. I don't want them around me. I don't want them near me. I don't want to see them. Kids are great. I used to work with kids. I used to be a behavioral therapist for children with disabilities. Loved that job. The kids loved me. I was amazing at my job. But whenever you're a queer person, people will so often reduce who you are to who you are attracted to.
Yeah.
And when they do that, all they focus on then is, oh, you're a queer person, you are inherently sexual, so everything you do is inherently sexualizing the things around you.
Yeah.
Oh, if you're around kids, you're sexualizing kids. And it's so easy for them to make that jump because so many people don't care about logic right now.
Right.
Have you noticed people are off their fucking rockers these days? I saw a video of this guy fingering a chicken breast.
Yeah, talking about how it's
talking
3D
about how
printed.
it was AI 3D printed. All
Are
those
we
words
okay?
together. All those words together. He said, it is AI 3D printed chicken. What does that mean to you, Barbara? If I came to you and said, here's an AI 3D printed chicken.
I would go, AI 3D printed chicken. What makes you say that? Why would you think that?
And they don't know. They don't know. And so these, like, I saw a butcher reply to this video, and he said, "It's just a chicken, dude.
It's just a
just a chicken."
No one's trying.
And that
no one's trying
person's-
to gotcha.
No one.
on some
Everyone is
chicken.
out to get everyone these days.
yeah,
Have
they
you
are.
noticed that?
That's the thing that I
my
don't.
gosh.
I think honestly, when I really try to distill it down, it all comes from fear. Everything comes from fear. People who are, they don't want to admit it. They just want to vilify these people who they don't understand, or like a way of life or a lifestyle that they don't understand because they're scared of it and they just don't understand it. Where it's people who dress differently, who love differently, who believe differently, and they are in such this very closed-minded mindset of anyone who thinks differently is wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just don't get it, and therefore it's wrong.
Right.
And that's it.
And
period.
it's I don't know, it's just like it's super weird to me because I've always come from a background of like I always want to learn and I always want to grow, and like coming across someone who's just like, I don't want to learn. You're bad. Everything that you're doing is bad. I'm just like, dude, how are you still here?
And I feel so bad for them because I think so often those people aren't malicious. People call me. I don't think it's a matter of not like naivete.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a matter of me not understanding that there are people who are malicious and want to see people like me not exist. But I choose to believe the vast majority just truly don't know any better. Because I was raised in a small town. I was raised in a small town, rural America, like as, you know, God-fearing, country-loving as it gets. And I'm still out here a drag queen. I didn't see drag queens, I didn't even know drag existed until I was 19 years old.
Wow. Yeah.
But I knew that straight people existed. I knew that like these most outrageous like bachelorette and bachelor parties, I would see, you know, parents with their toddlers on a play date and they'd be like, oh, look at that little ladies man. What?
That's pushing an
It's
agenda.
Legos.
It's
Mama, that's Legos.
Yeah.
That's Legos.
But
Pushing an agenda.
me existing is exactly pushing an agenda. So
the thing that also bothers me so much about it, obviously there's a lot of like hypocritical ways of thinking. But to me, the biggest one is people talk about freedom. You're you know, infringing on my freedom, or like, this is America, freedom, freedom, freedom. Yet you are doing everything in your power to control someone else's ability to live their life the way they want to.
You're gatekeeping freedom.
And it literally, like, you doing drag, someone being trans, someone being, you know, gay, bisexual, whatever it is, literally has zero effect on your life. And you trying to take that away from them is only infringing upon their freedom to be who they want to be. Freedom for me, not for thee.
absolutely get it tattooed on my ass. It's just because it's so true. They don't give a fuck about freedom. They don't give a okay. Sorry, I get so animated about this. I'm so sorry.
No, please.
So back in March, I testified on the Texas Senate floor in full drag. Thank you.
Yes.
In front of the Senate Affairs Committee when they were first hearing what was then called SB 12, which was the anti-drag bill. And I sat there. I waited, 7-8 hours that day hearing people talk about. So there were maybe 280 people that spoke that day.
Wow.
And we were against the bill. And so out of the 280 people that spoke, there were maybe only 35 to 40 that spoke in favor of the bill.
Really?
And those people, it was like listening to a Parks and Rec sketch.
Oh God, to be a fly on the wall of that, because
the mental dissonance of being in like, a revered kind of sanctuary type space, of the Texas Senate, and then hear some guy screaming about a article he read about drag queens trying to lick people on their crotch during shows at like noon. And they actually had to stop him because he was so incoherent. It's just, these people, they are literally blinded by rage.
Yeah.
They're so mad, and I don't think they fully know what they're mad
Or
at.
they want to believe a certain way of thinking. And so they cherry pick these usually fake stories to try to prove the point that they want to make. It's a confirmation bias thing. We talk about it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Of like, well, I believe drag queens are harassing children, so let me find any instance of them being near children or doing something sexual, and then merge those two things together as if they are one instance. But yeah, it's the same way a lot of people in this country think, and the way they go about all information.
And because there's the most recent thing I could think of is this outlet here in Texas who. By the way, so this is like, it's called I'm not going to give the name because it doesn't deserve the time of day, but there's one person behind it, but they make it seem like, there's this coalition of people against drag queens in favor of defending the kids. They took a photo of a daytime, all like ages event, a story
I saw
time.
this, yes.
And took photos of these kids handing a drag queen like some dollars. And the drag queen was not even dressed even remotely promiscuously.
Yeah.
I've seen nuns in more scantily clad behavior.
Or parents who take their kids to Hooters.
Oh, don't even get me. Oh, you know what? They do have good wings, though.
They do have great wings.
But if I tried to work there,
You could get
I'd take your husband. I don't care about your fucking kids, but I will take your husband.
There you go. That's what they're really afraid of.
But they edited a photo of this daytime, outdoor family-friendly event, and they edited it to make it look like it was in this. It was also a shit show of a.
It was a really
job.
bad.
It was such a bad edit.
But these people, they see it and it's what they want to believe. So they go, this is real.
Yeah.
Oh, Twitter ate it up. Like the
for
Republican Twitter ate it up. Yeah.
Sure.
And I also say this, like, I think even where I'm at today, anytime I do any kind of production or show, if people who will see me and then immediately start going into the comments about pushing a woke agenda, I would like everyone to know I don't get up early enough to have an agenda. I don't have a notepad with my goals for the day or the week. Gay people aren't like getting together before like lunch and saying, "Oh, all right, we got him in Texas. Now we're moving up to Montana to get the kids there." We are not in any way, shape, or form organized to do anything remotely that big.
Just living your fucking life.
Lawrie, that's not true. What do you think brunch is for? That's where we talk about that all the time.
Oh, you're so true. I forgot about. Oh yeah, secret brunch. Sorry,
secret brunch is when we push the gay agenda.
I just want someone also who uses the term woke agenda to actually explain what they think the word woke means.
It is my favorite word these days because everyone uses it and no one has a concise definition of it.
Because to me, the idea of being woke is being mindful of other people's struggles and needs, and that everyone has a very distinct experience and life and things that they go through, and trying to be mindful and aware of making everyone comfortable and safe.
So a simple understanding of the human
life.
Human life.
Which to me is like
basic.
If you are against that, what does that say about you?
It's so funny because
I want right for humans, but not all humans. That's what's
right. It's just,
and if you want rights for humans, you're a bad person.
Yeah,
it's going through these hoops to make the idea of accessibility and open-mindedness the most vile ideas possible. They'll jump through so many hoops to make it sound like it's the worst thing.
How dare you care about other people?
How very
How
dare
dare
you?
How dare?
Yeah.
How dare you have an agenda?
How dare you care about other people when trans people are coming after our kids? Honestly, if you're so concerned about that, look at the church. Just look at the church. That's more dangerous. Having your child in church is more dangerous than having your child in a drag show.
I mean, statistically.
Statistically.
I have so many opinions about the hypocrisy between the way no one cares about what happens in a church and how many children and even adults are.
Because that's with
harmed in a
God.
church. Because it's the way of God.
with God.
And I say this as somebody, I went to church growing up. I went to like a few different types of churches.
22 years religious.
Right. And mama, those people were some of the most rude.
Rude.
Let me tell you, I have heard less vicious gossip between some drunk gay men at like 2 a.m. at the bar. And by the way, I'm gonna say this: gay drunk men are some of the most vicious human beings in the world.
But like in a
like a fun way.
Oh, in a sweet
In a
way. Yeah,
fun way.
sorry.
Yeah.
That sounds so horrible. And they are, but like,
in like
not
a cute
really.
and sexy way.
Right. But like a prayer circle that's where the tea was spilled.
Yeah.
That's where you got all the news of that day.
Wow. Really?
You know?
Like,
oh
I
yeah.
heard-
Like
Yeah.
I heard Jolene has depression.
it's like, Lord, I'd like to pray for Mary Lou. She is pregnant again. I don't know if anyone here knew that, but she does not know the Father.
My God.
And that's always how it goes.
It's always how it goes, Barbara.
It really, really is.
Yep. Listen. Just, I think ultimately what we're trying to say is let people, if they're not hurting anybody or making it harder for someone else to live their life, let them fucking live their life.
Right.
Look, and honestly, like, support drag.
Yes.
You'll have a
like,
good time, I promise.
If you're ever in Austin, come see Laurie's show.
come to our show.
Come see some local Austin drag. It's fun. I've been to a few now, and I
You
have
have.
had the best time.
Thank you.
I
I,
mean,
have the photos of us.
The tea with that is, though, especially with supporting drag, is like the reason that our justice system is trying to come after drag in the first place is because they're trying to get to trans people and trying to get the marginalized people
Absolutely.
after that.
Yes.
So it's like this is the first stepping stone to attacking more marginalized folks. So it's
Right.
like, hey, support local drag and support drag in general.
I would love if our elected officials could focus on, I don't know, like bettering our healthcare system or our transportation system or just like the homeless issues or like anything to better their constituents'
Right.
life
Right.
rather than these non-issues that, yeah. Anyways, I could go on about this for a very long time,
No,
and
I-
I'm sure it's going to be
Yeah.
a fun little
Great.
discussion.
Oh, you know. I think because like the last thing I'll say about it or like that is that the day that I testified in front of the Senate, the day before, there was another mass gun violence incident in Texas.
Right.
That no one seemed to care about. But we had to spend our time trying to convince these people to let us wear our wigs.
Yeah.
And
just live
makeup
our
and
lives.
dresses, yeah.
Wow, kids are
Absolutely.
dying. Literally, kids are dying in schools, and it's more. What is it? It's like your kid is most likely to die in a school shooting over a car accident now,
I believe
statistically,
so.
which is very wild to me. But
It's like the highest rate of children deaths, I believe.
yeah,
Right.
they do not care about kids.
18 and under.
They
Which
do
is
not care
very,
about
it is morbid, but it's the truth.
It's the truth.
And normally, you know, at least my style of drag, I'm a clown, first and foremost. I am anyway, and I love that word. I love that word.
Yeah.
People, I call myself a clown, and they'll look at me. They're like, "No, what do you mean?
I
You're
used
so
to do
pretty.
that to you, but I now
Bitch,
understand what
I
you
know
mean.
I'm pretty.
Yes.
I spend
Yeah.
too much time to not be. I hope so. Imagine if you walk up to me and you say, "No, you're pretty." I might as well lay in traffic. Like, because I didn't think I wasn't before you said that.
I thought I was pretty, but now
I know.
you're reasoring that I'm pretty. Which
Do you want me to go, no, you are a clown?
I know. Yeah, right. Pretty much.
Yes, our
Yes.
clown.
All right, well, let's get into
Yeah.
some of our questions we got
Okay.
today for y'all. The first one, it's supposed to be a little icebreaker question, but because we've already
so sorry.
broken the ice for a little bit, I still want to ask this question because I'm very curious as to what you guys will think. And our audience as well. If you guys want to answer it in the comments, I would love to hear your opinion. This is a would you rather question. Would you rather have a pause or a rewind button in your life?
I'll answer this now. I'm prepared. A pause so I could remember this moment forever.
Aww.
No, but seriously, I would take a pause.
button.
And I would probably only use it when I am taking a nap. So I can sleep
Ooh.
longer and be able to do more things. I would never do rewind though because I'm pretty confident within my past, and I think it shaped who I am as a person.
Okay.
Like all my mistakes I've learned from, and all the trauma I've gone through, it made me funny. So
right.
it made me funny. So like I'm very thankful for that and learning the coping mechanisms that I did because of my past. So no rewind needed. I'll take pause.
Okay. I love that.
So what are the stipulations?
Well, let's discuss.
Okay, because here's my thing. I guess I would also say pause because for a similar reason I wouldn't rewind because I think your experiences obviously make up who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I honestly, I'm like, I can't comprehend what it would be to pause my life.
Yeah.
And so I don't think about it often because when I saw this question, I was like, I don't let myself think about it. Like, I don't really deal in hypotheticals very much because, or like, what am I going to do? But if I was going to pause my life, I think I would just want to pause it with, because I thought this kind of same thought the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm in the good old days.
Yeah.
Of my life. I am in the good old days.
You'll be looking back on this time period.
Absolutely. And it could end at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm happy that I realize this now. So I'll be 25 in about a month. And at any point, you know, I could no longer be able to do drag. I could no longer be able to stream. I could not even be. You never know what's going to happen.
You never know.
So
this
think
building could collapse on us right now.
Absolutely.
I hope it doesn't.
If it does, just make it quick. I would rather
Like
be buried in drag. Sorry, that's not the. Yeah, it's far away from the question. But I would say pause.
Pause.
But like with people.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't pause time so much as I would like to just like extend little pockets of moments. Like RTX, for example, all our friends came into town, people I've never gotten to see, and a lot of people got to see me do like shows for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I would just stretch out those moments because I know that even there are moments in my life now where I will leave shows knowing that that's going to be one of my favorite memories just always.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, it happened and now it's over. And as long as I'm able to, I'm just going to keep creating more of those moments because that's all I can do.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
And also a very, very good mentality to have as well. I agree with y'all. I think I would take a pause button, but only if I could share it with other people.
Right.
Like Trevor, for example, I would want to be able to pause time with him.
Ew.
But I think more than ever, and I think about this a lot, I wish there was just more hours in the day. And I think that's why I think about a pause button would be nice of just like, I just want to be able to have like when I get off of work at 5 o'clock and then I want to have like a long productive evening, but I also want to watch TV and I also want to like clean and I also want to read my book. And it's like there's so many things you want to do. And so having a pause button just to allow yourself to like
absolutely
fit more stuff
to
in.
like breathe, honestly.
Yeah.
I'd be curious though if anyone chose rewind because I can think of like some situations where I can maybe think of max 2 situations in my life where I'm like, I'd be okay if I didn't have lived through that.
Yeah, like I'd be okay if I went back and didn't do
right
or didn't say that. Or
but now I'm like, I'm here.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty okay with where I am.
I would challenge anyone who does rewind. What are you trying to change, and what did you learn from that situation that you didn't change? Because I feel like there's a lesson in everything and every action that you have done, even if it's bad. Like I would love to rewind and not get my wisdom tooth taken out, or take a bite of a burrito that didn't crack with my wisdom teeth. I would love that, but also in that process, I also realized that my body metabolizes anesthesia very quickly and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, this is cool knowledge to know for later. But I don't know.
But you know what I will say for the rewind? I bet it's if for someone who chose rewind, I bet it wouldn't even be a matter of I wish I didn't do these things, but far more I wish I had done these things.
Interesting.
Because
I wish I followed her to the airport and
left
right before she got to her gate.
This small town before
Can't went to her wedding and say, I object.
I object.
Something dramatic.
I want to be with you.
Absolutely. And just like, because think of the people, I know people that don't even leave their small town until they're maybe upwards of 40.
Yeah.
Or so, if they do at all.
Yeah.
And plenty of folks who never leave and never have any interest. And maybe they don't regret it, but I think for the most part, people who do eventually like leave these places, it's always, I wish I'd done it sooner.
Yeah.
Or like even when it's drag or certain, I think even just key moments of life or taking up new arts, things like that, they just wish they'd done it sooner. I don't know.
Yeah.
A friend of mine had this incredible quote that I don't know if they've like saw it online or like someone else said it to them, but the quote was, if you're not changing it, you're choosing it. And so if like there is a
Fancy.
situation you're unhappy about, or like something about yourself you're unhappy with, or something about your surroundings that you're like even if you have like old pots and pans that you can't cook well with, and it's like, I gotta get new pans. Well, if you don't change it, you're choosing it.
I agree.
And it's the same with like your lifestyle.
I like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think right now, there's a lot of, and this, I don't know if this is a very popular opinion, but I say this as for me, I'm going to say it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten way too comfortable making certain excuses for myself
Same.
and certain behaviors that do not benefit me by saying, like, I believe, especially because I have ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
I have ADHD up the ass. So if you can't tell by the everything about me. And I say, I deserve grace with certain things. But there are also certain things that I want to be doing in my life that I will say, no, I'm not going to pressure myself because I deserve I give myself the grace to not do it. And I think that's true. But I also think there's for me, a point where I would love to be able to say to myself, get off your ass. You're going to miss this.
I think there's a balance.
Yeah,
right?
there's a
Yeah,
balance.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you understand the balance.
Exactly.
You noticed that.
And that's why I wouldn't say it's like everyone does that. I've noticed it myself do it.
Yeah.
Just letting myself be a little too free with, I don't even want to call them excuses, but just, I don't know what you'd call that.
I know what you mean though.
Yeah.
Because like there is obviously the quote of like, if you're not changing it, you're choosing it. Like that is true to some extent, but there's also, you can just, if you want to stay in bed all day and relax, you could do that.
Absolutely.
If you don't feel like going to the gym and you want to just take a bath, like do that. Like, of course, like do what's right for you, but also like,
Don't be, I think
things in life take effort.
Yeah. And like, because there are days where I want to stay in bed.
Yeah.
But I also don't, like if I come back tomorrow, I'm going to say, I wish I hadn't,
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's,
like,
I'm going to pick that rewind button.
I would say, but it's
Yeah.
what you needed
True.
in that moment.
You're right.
Because your body was telling you to do something that it needed, and that is what it was. I feel like a lot of the times people feel that if you're like resting in bed or you spend the entire day like in the bathtub or something like that it's not productive. And it's like, no, it was productive with you being in bed.
Yeah.
Like that is a task.
You know what? That's
itself.
a
Did you feel
really good
relaxed?
point.
Did you feel relaxed? Did you have a good
mental
time?
break?
I feel like a lot of the times we give ourselves unfair tasks or unfair timelines, but there's a balance. I 100% agree. There's a balance where there's moments where I'm like, no, get up and do the thing. Get up and do the thing.
Get off TikTok.
Get off
Absolutely.
TikTok.
The third
Right,
hour
yeah.
that you've
Go
been
to
on.
bed.
On the toilet for the third hour.
Absolutely.
Literally me.
And that could just be like indicative of where like my head is at. Like whenever you when you start working all the time, I think that mindset of
You were on grind
less
mindset,
excuses.
gamer.
Thank
You're on
you.
grind mindset. And honestly, it's nice. It's really
Thank
nice.
you.
But I hope that you were giving yourself time to really breathe and take a break. And I'm saying this for myself as well because I did not do that this
Yeah.
week. So
This is a manifestation time for both of y'all. Well, thank you for indulging me. with
Oh,
this
absolutely.
question. I love the would you rather questions. Look, we're going to be doing more of those on the show because they're so fun. If you're looking for some new wall art, whether you're moving to a new place or you just want to refresh your current decor, Gallery Panda is definitely the way to go. They offer high-quality acrylic wall art, and their standard 16x24 print will take any living room, bedroom, gaming room, or man cave to the next level. Plus, command strips come with every order for easy, damage-free hanging. And you could even customize your own print. All you have to do is scroll down to the bottom of their website to upload your custom design. Even standard photos look amazing when printed with Gallery Panda's technology. You might have seen watching Always Open that we have some gallery prints of our own, Gallery Panda prints. We have the All Good No Worries logo that we got custom made, which looks incredible here on set. I have some personal ones at home that are hung up around our living room that add just the perfect amount of decor to our room. They have so many options and so many cool prints to choose from, as well as being able to upload your own, so go check it out. So go follow Gallery Panda on Instagram or go to gallerypanda.com to see some amazing art. You could also use our special promo code, which is always30, to get 30% off your order of large acrylic wall art for the first 50 people to check out, so go quickly. Normally, you could only get this good of a deal by finding them at places like New York Comic Con, but thanks to this promo code, you could get a Comic Con level deal online. All right, let's get to our user-submitted questions. If you have a question, you are watching the show or listening to it, you could absolutely submit one to alwaysopen@roosterteeth.com. We love having your questions and being able to talk about it on the show, so please send them in. All right. Is it wrong to want to experience being with other trans people after coming out, even though I'm in a monogamous relationship? Hey y'all, I recently come out as a trans woman to my partner and my closest friends. Everyone around me has been very accepting, but none of my friends are trans or completely understand how I'm feeling. I've recently been curious about being with other trans people romantically and sexually, as I feel that there would be more understanding as to how I'm feeling, not only emotionally, but also physically too. But know that my partner would not be open to an open or even poly relationship. I love them and understand why they are not open to this, as we've talked about an open relationship before, but that's why I haven't brought up my feelings recently. What do y'all think I should do?
I think, first of all, congratulations.
Yes.
Because being able to finally make that realization about yourself, to make that transition, congratulations. It's very hard to do.
Absolutely.
And I commend anyone. All my trans siblings, I think, are some of the strongest people in the world.
In the world.
I'm not even exaggerating. They're fucking cool. In the world. But when it comes to monogamy and opening up the relationship, there are already so many moving parts, individual to that union, that relationship. And then you add in the queer element, and it does make things more complex. Because I think, we say sometimes that straight people and gay people have the same relationships. It's not always the case, because there can be so much more nuance in a queer relationship, because there's a different psychology in a lot of regards, because identities sometimes are a bit more fluid.
Right.
And so is sexuality. And it's not that, straight couples aren't, but it's just there's less expectation that that's going to come up and less expectation that you have to address it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I think that to say that this person is set in this belief, I believe in more fluidity, I think, but also it is hard.
It is.
To open up a long-time monogamous relationship.
Well, I think, obviously this is a very unique situation that we can't necessarily tell you what to do or not to do, because it's very dependent on your particular relationship. But I will say, if you are currently in a monogamous relationship with somebody, it's a partnership. And so, if your partner is not comfortable with opening up a relationship or with you being with other people while also being with them, that's a boundary that I think needs to be respected if you want to remain in that relationship. But maybe you guys just haven't talked through all the different options and how they're feeling about certain things, and exploring different options in that sense. I know that this person mentioned that they haven't talked about it recently, but have in the past. And so maybe feelings could change. But I think if it's something that you really want to explore and your current partner is not up for that, you kind of have to figure out which one you want to go with.
There are some difficult decisions ahead.
Difficult decision. I would say, first and foremost, communicate your feelings. I know it can be a little bit difficult, but this person does love you at the end of the day. And sometimes conversations are needed in order for you to grow and for your partner to grow too. And then also, after having that conversation, maybe give your partner a couple of resources so they can better understand what your experience is like. I think the term is they can't sympathize with you because they can't be in the same situation, but they can empathize with you. Is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they can at least empathize, or at least get your perspective on how you're seeing the world and how they can better, help out. And maybe that could turn into, sure, let's give it a try. Or maybe it doesn't. And you have to have that conversation with yourself on if you want to continue that relationship, or if you want to further explore, having a romantic or sexual relationship with trans folks is something like that.
Right.
So,
yeah, I think it's. I had a friend recently go through this exact kind of this situation where there was a pretty much ongoing discussion about wanting to open up the relationship on one person's part, and the other person just wasn't about it. So they parted very amicably and as friends. But sometimes that's part of discovering more about who you are, and I think who you love and how you love.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's
hard.
And that's what I know. Like that's my answer. It's hard. Sorry,
it's hard
very
and
hard.
difficult.
Well, it's a complex situation, but I do. I mean, I feel like if you are having these desires and want to explore that part of your newfound sexuality and identity, and that's something that you really feel like you need in life, you should do it. And I
agree.
like if that partner is not willing to work on having an open relationship or changing the dynamic of your relationship, then maybe that is something you need to come to terms with in order to be able to explore the side of you, because that is important to growing and discovering more about yourself.
I agree.
It's
I
also
think-
It's tough.
no,
You
you
go ahead.
go. No, you go.
Okay, I'll go. I think I wouldn't want you to, be 20 years down the line and say, I wish I had let myself.
rewind button.
Right,
So you need
right.
it
Had a
more.
rewind button. Had let yourself explore these things that you are, very, or you might seriously need right now.
Yeah.
That's I have a very fluid view on relationships anyhow. So yeah, right, yeah. But like you said, you can't have a fluid view on relationships if it's disrespecting anyone involved. And I think you're right. You both said this, but there's a point where a discussion cannot become coercion.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous too, because there are instances where I've seen partners who want to appease the partner who does want to be open, so they'll say, "Oh yeah, I'm fine with this thing," when maybe in reality they aren't,
Not
or
fine with it.
and if they may think they're fine with it and then realize they're not once it happens, and then it's very tricky. But I think the biggest component is always staying level with that partner and making sure the walls of defense are not like being built. Because
Right.
if you watch, you will see that them get built. And once they get built, it's hard to bring them down. So just keeping it so honest and like the intent of the betterment of each other forward, I think helps you keep those walls low during these conversations. I
Great
think.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Because it's hard once they get up. It's hard once
Yeah.
they're up.
Oh yeah.
I will say in this conversation and this you discovering yourself, do not feel bad about discovering yourself.
Right.
And
Period.
sometimes I feel like people put themselves on the back burner instead of the like front burner, and you are you're a prize stew that needs to be on the front burner of the
Yeah.
stove.
People need
Stew.
access to mix you up.
Yeah.
There it is.
But yeah,
Little
just
carrots.
don't feel bad
little
about
vegetables.
you discovering more things about yourself and discovering your identity. You're trying to become unapologetically yourself. So continue to do that.
Right.
Okay. And if you get seen as a villain, just be a villain. That's what I do.
Also,
Pretty
if
much.
you stay in a relationship that you're not necessarily like completely happy with or don't feel like you could fully explore who you are with, there might be a lot of like animosity towards your partner, or
That's
just
the word
I was
some
looking for.
resentment that builds up over time because
Right.
you're not getting to kind of have this release or this like experience that you really want to try. And so that's something to keep in mind too. You
Yeah.
don't want to resent your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I also like when Bliz said giving them resources, because a lot of people's understanding of the language when it comes to opening a relationship, a lot of people will just hear, "Oh, you want to just have sex with other people."
Yeah, you just want to fuck other people.
Not always. Sometimes it can be a group activity. It can be fun. And
Right?
I mean, it's 2023. I am so tired of any shame around sex between consenting adults. Do what you are going to
Yeah.
do and have fun with it. We are animals who are going to be dead in like what, 30, 40 years? I don't
knows?
know.
With the way things
Who
are
knows?
going.
That's what I'm
aliens
saying.
and climate. Yeah.
I'm having my midlife crisis at 27.
There
so-
you go. I called my
Quarter life.
I know. I'm calling mine a quarter life optimistically.
Optimistically.
Yeah.
With a lot of optimism, she says. But you are so like life is so short,
It's so short.
and there
Life is so
are
short.
so many people in the world, and so many of them will want to see you happy, and I bet even your partner is one of them.
Yeah.
So just but be ready to make difficult decisions. Not to rehash everything, but
Yeah.
it's hard.
No, it's good.
It's hard.
It's hard, but congratulations.
Yes. Congrats and good luck. Feel free to follow up with us to that email, alwaysopen@rashid.com. If you heed our advice or don't, let us know how it
Right.
goes. We'd love to hear back from you. But yeah, that's our show for today.
Oh, perfect.
Bliss, Lawrie, thank you for being here.
Barbara, thank you. I had so
thanks
much
for having
fun.
me.
Of course. Absolutely. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Lawrie.Bird, Lawrie, and all around Austin every third Friday at Oil Can Harry's, and every now and then just doing shows all around the city.
Hell yeah. Love to see it. And
Thank you.
Blizz, anything you would like to plug what you're up to these days?
Hi, everyone. I'm Blizz. I'm one of the co-hosts for Inside Gaming. You can check us out on youtube.com/Inside Gaming, where BK, Jack, and I, and Evan, we host gaming news. And I also stream on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/Blizz. I got rid of the bear.
Wow, look at you.
I know, I'm changing it up.
do that.
I'm just Blizz now. And my Twitter's still Blizzb3ar if you want to. Why did the camera go away from me? I'm not done talking, okay? Whoa.
There
Bring
it
it
is.
back. Bring it back.
No, this
back.
is much better. Oh.
Find me on Twitter. I'm funny. I have too much trauma and it made me funny. There we go.
No rewind button.
No rewind button.
None for us. Well, thank you guys for being here so much. And thank you all for watching the show. We really appreciate you being here. And please do share it with people if you enjoy it. Obviously, what we're doing here, we really want people to watch the show and to get a lot of love for, the things we talk about and everything like that. So please do share it with a friend if you are so inclined. And we'll see you next time.
Support local drag.
Bye.
Do it. Bye. I don't know where the camera is.
It's somewhere.
It's all over.
Hey.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that episode of Always Open. If you like it, please share it with a friend. Leave a comment below telling us if you want a rewind or a pause button. We'd love to hear from you, as well as send in your questions to alwaysopen@roosterteeth.com. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.